Lots of you have told me that you really want to speak English well, but just can't get the pronunciation right. You want pronunciation that can be easily understood by your friends and by other English speakers, right? So today we're going to look at one of the key reasons why English pronunciation is difficult. And then I'll give you a plan that will help you overcome this problem. Have you ever heard the phrase, "I'm all ears"? I usually say this when a friend has some really interesting news to tell me, something juicy. It means I stop everything and just listen. You know the kind of thing I'm talking about, don't you? Well, this is how I want you to be when you're listening to me speaking. All ears. Anyone out there who says you can get good English pronunciation without hard work is talking a load of rubbish. Unless you happen to be one of the lucky ones to whom pronunciation comes easily. Most of us need to work hard at it. And if you do work hard and regularly, as I suggest, you will improve, because everyone can improve using this method. Let's start with a fact. Speaking is organised sound received by the ears, right? The problem is that when a foreign language goes in the ear, it comes up against our native language. And then the battle begins. What battle? Well, think of it this way. In any language, there are a number of different sounds, and each sound is stored in a separate box in our brain. When we listen to our own language, we hear the sounds and match them to the right sound box. And when we speak, we go to the box, take out the sounds we want in the order we want them. The result is perfect pronunciation. But every language has a different number of sound boxes, and to make it more difficult, the boxes are arranged differently. Let me show you what I mean. Let's look at the sounds at the beginning of these three words. Fin, thin, and sin. We're only going to look at the sounds at the beginning of each word, the f, th, and s. A native English speaker has a sound box for each of these three sounds. So what they hear matches perfectly to their sound boxes in their brain. However, for an English learner, there can be a problem. In their native language, they might have similar sound boxes for the f and s sounds, but no sound box for the th. So the English learner without a sound box for th replaces it with a f or s sound, or even another sound in their memory. So to get over this problem, we must build and use a different set of sound boxes corresponding to the different sounds of English. And we need to establish new ways of hearing for the different sounds, rhythm and intonation, and not forgetting new ways of using mouths and tongues to produce the sounds. So here's my cunning plan. First of all, you must hear English, but that's not enough. Oh no. You must listen to it, not for the meaning, but for the sound of it. But you must listen carefully to the sounds, and then, by following my instructions, you will make your ears sharper for the sound of English. Only when you can hear English properly can you improve your pronunciation. Forget about what the words mean. Just listen to them simply as sounds. Take one of the English sounds at a time and concentrate on catching it, picking it out, and copying it. Try to notice the Englishness of it. What makes it different from the nearest sound in your language? But most importantly, say it out loud. It's no use practicing silently. We're all a lot better at pronouncing if we do it silently in our heads, but it has to come out. So practice out loud, even if your friends and family give you strange looks and laugh at you. Ignore them, because very soon you're going to show them just how much you've improved. And are they going to be impressed? Oh, yes. Whenever I have to learn lines for a play or something, I always say the words out loud. Yeah, sure, I get some funny looks, especially if I do it on the train. My husband thinks I'm completely mad because I often start to become the character I'm playing. My next role is that of an axe murderer. But anyway, it helps me to learn them more quickly. I record myself and listen back. Then if I don't like it, I can change it. It also gets rid of any feelings of shyness or being self-conscious, which is also a real problem when you begin to speak in a new language. All of a sudden, you feel very self-conscious about speaking in a different language. Weird. In fact, when I speak Italian, to get over this problem, I always think of myself as an Italian person. I even start doing lots of hand gestures. Never underestimate the power of imitation. In fact, when you were a cute little baby, and started to talk, do you know how you did this? No? Well, that's not surprising. Well, you did it by hearing the sounds your mother made and copying them. Babies are brilliant at it. And it's this gift of imitation that gives us the gift of speech. With all my videos, you need to repeat the text as often as you need to. Repetition really helps you to learn. And you really must do this because it's much better for your ear if you listen to the same passage 6 times than if you listen to 6 different passages. But listen closely each time. Don't relax after 2 or 3 hearings. Keep your ears as closely concentrated on the sound of the passage at the 6th hearing as at the 1st. This way, you'll build up a store of sound memory which will form a firm base for your pronunciation. Remember, practice out loud! But you must compare the sounds that come out of your mouth with the sounds that you are holding in your head, in your sound memory. Don't be too satisfied too easily. Match your sounds exactly with the sounds that you've listened to. Use your smartphone if you have one. Record a sentence or a longer passage which you're familiar with that has been spoken by an English speaker, i.e. me. Then listen to it closely and carefully. If it doesn't match the original, mark the places where you're dissatisfied and practice, practice and practice until you get them right. Spot on, in fact. Careful listening is the most important thing, and careful matching of performance with listening will bring you nearer to the ideal of perfect English pronunciation. And your aim must be to acquire a perfect English pronunciation. So keep working towards this until you're quite sure that you can't improve anymore. If you want perfect pronunciation, you have to give it your full attention. When you listen to me, you are hearing received pronunciation. If you really want to speak with a British accent, then this accent is a good choice as it helps you to identify the necessary differences between the basic sounds which are found in all kinds of English. So now you know how to achieve improvement in your pronunciation. We now need to look at the different sounds in the English language. To make it easier, I'm going to break this down into different videos. I will release over the coming weeks. We'll first look at the basic sounds, then consonants, then vowels, then words together, and then intonation. That's an awful lot of ground to cover. Whew! So for this video, I'm going to give you some practice by looking at the basic sounds of English. Remember, this is very important. You must listen, not for the meaning, but for the sounds. And start creating new English sound boxes for any new sounds you hear and do not possess in your mother tongue, right? Let's look at those basic sounds. In English, we have 24 consonants and 20 vowels to consider. And we give to each of these 44 units a letter or sometimes two letters. Here are the words listed. Copy me and practice as many times as you need to. But do it out loud. Beside each word is the letter of the International Phonetic Alphabet. Most of these will be familiar to you. Others will seem strange for a little while, but not for long. Here goes. Peer, beer, tear, dear, gear, fear, veer, sheer, hear, leer, rear, mere, near, weir, year, cheer, jeer, base, bays, bathe, beige, bake, wrath, wrong, feel, fill, fell, fall, full, fool, fail, foal, file, foul, foil, cat, cot, cut, curt, cart, tear, tear, tour, banana. Now you have all the basic sounds. Remember to practice, practice, and practice. And if you want to start having a look at consonant pronunciation ahead of my next video, do check out my videos on consonants that I've put in a separate playlist for you called Consonant Pronunciation. But don't forget, do it out loud. I do hope you found this useful, and if you did, please share it with your friends. Love and peace.